Hello, everyone. This is Jaya Khatri, and I am again over here with one of our former student, Teja. He learned German with us till C1 level, and currently he's in Germany. And I would like you to tell about yourself, like in which university did you complete STK course, and where are you right now living?
Okay. Hello everyone. Firstly, my name is Teja. I come from Manipal, Karnataka. I have done my from B2.1 till C1 level at Langoik, and I had 97.6 percentage in 12th. And right now I am living in Kaiserslautern. And just few days back, I completed the course at Student Colleague of Hochschule Kaiserslautern.
Okay, perfect. And so, because you have already given the Aufnahmeprüfung of STK, so which level would you suggest one should have of German language? Because you completed till C1 level. Not everyone is able to complete till C1 level now. So, which
Yeah.
do you recommend to give, like to appear for the examination of the STK course?
Yeah, so I would say it is extremely important to have at least B2 level proficiency. There are few student colleagues which ask for B1 level proficiency certificate for application, but that doesn't mean that the level of German in the course will be similar. So in student colleague, they prepare you for C1 level German exam, and which is why it is necessary to have at least B2 level proficiency before you're starting your student colleague course. And in case if it is possible, having C1 level proficiency is also advisable. However, if one is confident about his or her German skills, then B2 should be enough.
Yeah. Okay. And because you have already appeared for the Aufnahmeprüfung of the student colleague, so how did you prepare yourself and which books would you like to recommend to those who are trying to prepare themselves alone, all alone for the STK course?
Yeah, so firstly, I would recommend for maths, there is a book called Seal Student Colleague. And as far as I know, this book contains three parts, or it's three different books. And each book comprises of questions related to the Aufnahmeprüfung of particular group of student colleagues or universities. And one can also solve NCRT books of 11th and 12th to prepare themselves for the Aufnahmeprüfung. And
Mhm.
for German, I would suggest one to solve Mutsu Luca book. And again, there are two parts in this. One is for B1 level, and another one is for B2 level. And both are important for the Aufnahmeprüfung.
Mhm.
And this book contains C tests or look and tests, in which paragraph will be given, the blanks in few parts of the text, and
Mhm.
we need to identify the answer of the for these. And it can be anything. It can be prepositions, nouns, verbs, adjectives, etc.
Yeah.
And this book is extremely important for Aufnahmeprüfung preparation. I have seen many people who skip this book saying that their German level is not good enough to start this book. I
Mhm.
have I have heard them saying that their vocab is not good enough, and hence it won't make any sense to solve this book right now since they won't be able to find the answers. But
Mhm.
I would say that is a completely wrong perception. This book is not just about testing your vocabulary.
Mhm.
That makes up to a very small portion of a question, the vocabulary. So the
Mhm.
most important thing is that it will improve your pattern recognition skills.
Mhm.
Grammar is the most important part here. As you keep solving the book, you can
Mhm.
recognize few grammatic patterns unconsciously, and
Mhm.
hence this improves your speed, which is really important asset in Aufnahmeprüfung examination.
Mhm. Okay. And you took up the T course, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah.
right? So in T course, which subjects did you had to appear for?
So in Hochschule Kaiserslautern student colleague, we had mechanic, informatics, Elektrotechnik, Mathematik, and Deutsch.
Mhm. And in the Aufnahmeprüfung, which all were tested?
The Aufnahmeprüfung tests only the maths and the German skills.
They were only maths and German skills were tested.
Yes. Yeah.
And of course, the questions in the of the mathematics were in German language.
Yes.
Yeah. So that means if mathematics is good, but one should at least be able to understand the equation in German language.
Yeah, exactly.
Mentioned that it is B2.2 is required.
Yeah, even when I was giving Aufnahmeprüfung, I couldn't understand few questions, but based on the numbers and the equations which they were giving in the questions, I could figure out the solution. But yes, maths usually isn't so hard for Indian students if you have a really good base in maths.
Okay. So any tips for the FSP examinations, because you have already given your FSP examination few days back. So any tips for it?
I would suggest to attend every class. Try not to skip any classes and pile up backlogs because, as always, it's going to affect a lot. And even though the course might seem easy, regular revision is important. And time is extremely valuable here. You won't be getting a lot of free time, because you are living alone and you need to do everything on your own. And I would also suggest to solve question papers of FSP. It can be sample papers or the previous year papers, because here in student colleagues, we do not have any reference book or question banks for FSP like we have it in India for any exam. So question papers would be the only good resources to prepare for FSP.
Okay. So for the FSP examinations also, you had to appear for mathematics and only for German? I suppose no, because you prepared for other subjects also.
Yes, so my first exam was German, and there I was the German test consisted of Leseverstehen, Hörverstehen, and Exproduktion, which is Schreiben. And then I had Mathematik and Informatik. The next day I had Mechanic and Electrotechnik. And in this student colleague, I didn't have chemistry, but it's usually not the case in other student colleagues.
Okay. Okay. Fine. And any tips for the application process, because you have gone through the application process, like you applied for the Aufnahmeprüfung and then appeared for the Aufnahmeprüfung and also gave the FSP examination. So any tips for the application process?
Yeah, so based on the last semester experiences, I've seen many people who didn't get their visa before the deadline. I mean, before the Aufnahmeprüfung examination, and because of which they had to lose this chance. And most of them even went to private student colleagues paying tuition fees. And
Yeah.
I know a lot of them, and some of them even went to Hochschule Bremen, Saarland. And yeah, so I would say that it's really important to apply for visa at least 3 months before the Aufnahmeprüfung exam.
Yeah.
And for that reason, for visa application, first you need the admit. So as far as I know, KIT and Kaiserslautern are the ones who give the admit the fastest. I got the Kaiserslautern admit within 1 week after my application, and in KIT I got my admit within 2 days after application. But the problem with KIT is that it's online application, and the application deadline is very late. So I wouldn't suggest to depend on it for visa application. So not just Kaiserslautern, even there are other universities like Kiel, Hamburg. They have their application deadlines really very early. So I would suggest to apply to them, even though you're not going to write the if you're not going to write the Aufnahmeprüfung, or if you're not interested in that student colleague, you can at least apply for that, get an admit, and use it for visa. And it doesn't matter which admit you're using for your visa. You can join any student colleague you want after you pass Aufnahmeprüfung, of course. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And soon, you mentioned to me on the WhatsApp, soon you would be also a job, because now you're free, you are done with your FSP examination also, you have to wait for the examination result, and then you will apply in the universities for the back. So till then, you can also work somewhere. So where will you be working? Any tips for that? How did you get the job?
I would say that I was really lucky to find this job because I didn't do any searching. I was at Mensa and I found this poster about Five Guys Burgers, and it is in so there's a U.S. Army base in near Kaiserslautern, and the restaurant is going to be starting inside their army base, and they are looking for English speaking workers. So since my student colleague is going to end, I didn't have any problem with traveling for 30 minutes to reach the restaurant and start working. So I applied for the job, and I immediately got response from them, and without any interview, they just said that I could sign the contract directly. So I signed the contract, but the problem was since I'm studying in a student colleague, I was not allowed to do part-time job until my student colleague ends or until I have semester breaks. So since my student colleague course ended a few days back, and so now I can start working. But I'm still waiting for my residence permit, and once I get that residence permit, I can start working.
Okay, perfect. So that was it. And these were the questions which are usually asked. That's why I put across to you. And thank you so much for this insight. I hope this will help a lot of students. Any other tip which you want to give, like any tip regarding the bachelors, doing bachelors in Germany, those who are willing to do bachelors in Germany?
I would say people who are applying in the next upcoming semester, and if they are still in 12th, I would ask them to concentrate really good on their 12th exams, because your 12th marks will also be considered when you're applying for bachelor universities. So 50% of your FSP marks and 50% of your 12th marks will be considered when you're applying to a university for bachelor's course. So 12th marks is also extremely important, and you cannot be sure that you cannot be sure about what results you're going to get in FSP, but the 12th marks, that's in your hands. So I would say 12th is really important for bachelors if you want to go to a really good university.
Yes, that's very, very well said. Thank you so much, Teja, for this insight. I really want to thank you from bottom of my heart, and I wish you all the success.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.